Well, I think we'll get started. I'm just wanted to say good afternoon. My name is Jessica Roerson, and I'm working with the Indigenous Business Development Services Program with Sage Hill Community Futures. And today we are here with Josie Lachance, and she is going to be speaking to us about Canva. Josie's been on here a few times, and we felt it necessary to have her back because I know myself, I have all these images in Canva, and now I'm kind of like, what do I do? How do I create these folders? How do I manage this? What happens if I resize them and then I have another copy of everything? And it gets complicated. So I'm hoping that Josie can, even for myself and the work that I do, help clear the air for me a little bit with what I'm doing. Before we get started, I just wanted to read a land acknowledgement. As we gather here today, we acknowledge that we are on Treaty 6 territory and the homeland of the Métis. We pay our respects to the First Nation and Métis ancestors of this place and reaffirm our relationship with one another. And now I'll just ask Jenny to introduce herself.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Jenny Glessman, and I work with the Sage Hill Community Futures Office. We work on bringing this series of workshops to small business owners across the province. This is our large group today, and we're excited to have everybody here to learn about Canva. So with that, I'm going to turn it right over to Josie so we can get started, because I'm sure with the big group, like I had asked some and may have heard, if you could put your name, your business, or your community in the chat. That way it also gives her a little bit of, who we are and what businesses we have. As we're going, if you have questions, throw them into the chat. Jessica and I will be watching those for Josie, and we will go along. And there'll be some question and answer at the end as well. So we're excited. We'll turn it over to you.
Great, thanks Jenny and Jessica for having me back again for another webinar. These have been fun. I think I don't even know how many I've done with you guys, but it's been lots of fun. Today we're diving into Canva. I'm not sure if a lot of you have used Canva, maybe started, didn't know where to go, or like Jess said, kind of got some things done and then that's as far as you got. Normally I would go around and ask everybody, like what business they have and what they are looking to get out of today's session. But if we can just pop that in the chat, that would be great. Anyways, I'm just gonna go right into it. Have lots of people. I'm just curious where everybody is at with Canva. Have you guys used it? Kind of just checked it out?
If you can find your hand, everybody can put their hand up for those that have used it.
Canva? If you've used it, just raise your hand maybe so I can kind of get an idea. Okay, awesome. So used it, great. So basically, yeah, Canva is a graphic design platform and it's mostly used to create graphics for social media. It is a great thing that is there for you to create quick images that you can kind of share easily, whether that's to social media or say you need to do up a poster and have that. It's really a good platform because of the templates that are already created. And then kind of once you get comfortable with the templates, it kind of makes it easier to maybe start from scratch or things like that. I'm just gonna share my screen here. Here we go. So I'm using the desktop version of Canva, which you can all download if you use your computer. It's a little bit easier than the browser, and also if you have a mobile device like an iPad or iPhone or tablet of some sort, you can download the app. There are kind of two versions of Canva. There is the free version, and then there's the pro version. And the free version has a lot of what you need to get started. You can do templates, use their stock images, fonts, etc. The difference with Pro is that you're able to access more stock images. You're not limited to types or styles of fonts. And there's some more in-depth features like a branding kit and a content planner. As you can see kind of on the left-hand side under tools, there's a little crown, and that means it's only available for Pro. This is really cool if you do decide to go with Pro or you have Pro. It's cool because you can add your logo, your colors, and your norm or your selected style of fonts that you usually use. It helps a lot when you go to create something. It kind of just implements those fonts and those colors, and it's ready to go, makes it a little bit faster. And then there's also the content planner, which is really cool because you can actually take your images and schedule them right to your Facebook page. We'll touch on this a little bit later. But also another thing with Pro that you can do is under your projects here on the left-hand side, you can have, I have only 2 folders here because I'm not a Pro user. But if you are a Pro user, it does allow you to be a little bit more organized in making something and adding it into your folder and keeping everything there. This is one that I have multiple items for, so they're all in one folder. But with the regular version, you can only do 2, but it is a good way to keep things organized. So I'm just going to kind of jump right into it. And at any point, I think if there's a question, I think we can probably use the raise your hand feature, and you can ask away. I think we have that feature on here, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay, so the thing that I like to do that I think is really handy is to use this search bar here, and basically say you're going to create a post. Maybe it's for an upcoming event that you have or a product that you want to launch, and you want to create some sort of splashy image that's not maybe just a photo of your product. It's maybe a little bit more, has a little bit more information, and we're going to post it on Facebook. It's easy to just kind of go Facebook and say it's an event. Oh, here we go. Oh, sorry. Just a second here. Templates, there we go. So basically you can see here that this is giving me a banner style image that would most likely be for an event page. So I'm just going to define my search a little bit more and say Facebook post event. And as you'll see, these are all the templates that you can use. The ones that have a little $sign in the corner, or they might have a little crown, the yellow crown, those mean that they have paid items in there, or they are only accessible to Pro users. But there are so many features that you can use that are, so I'm just going to exit that, that are in the free version. So if you kind of scroll through here, you can see here there's a few, the ONG's annual picnic, that's a template you can use, Earth Hour, etc. So basically you can kind of pick one that looks like a style that you're going for. Maybe it's something like this one. Let me just wait for it to load up and open. And basically everything is there for you that's on the template, or you can kind of adjust, like say you want a different image, you can easily select this image that is the background. I can delete it here. And I can go over to the left-hand side where it says elements, and I can look down here, photos, and I can see photos that are accessible for me to use for free. So these are all stock images. Maybe I have my own image, so I can just upload an image that I have.
Can you also put it on LinkedIn, the same template? Or is that a different template?
I think you can, once you download it, you can see here there's different files, file types. So whatever file you would need to use to upload it to LinkedIn, you can definitely do that. I'll go here just to show you now. So now that we've created this image, cake for Jess's party, if I go back to my home page and say I created this and I want to send it out on Facebook to everybody, instead of actually opening up the Facebook app and going in there and going to my page and doing a post, I can go right into the content planner. You don't need to be a pro user to use this feature. But once I'm in here, you'll see the calendar of the month. You can click the plus sign and you can see right here, here's the image that we created for Cake for Jess. And so I can go.
Oh, this is kind of interesting to schedule the posts.
I can go and post it on whichever page that I manage, or I have a few that I manage. So I can just write what the description of the post would be, and then I can hit publish now. So that will go instantly to your Facebook page, and then you don't have to worry about it. So it's all kind of done in one platform. If you want, and if you find this is a feature that you're using, this would be 100% worth it to get Pro just for this feature alone, because you can go in there and you can schedule all your posts for, I mean, as far as you have things for. So that's a really cool thing. This is new that they've done, and it's nice that you can access some of those features and you don't have to be a Pro member to access it. I'm just going to show you here kind of how you can adjust. Whoops. Once you sort of have a good understanding of how Canva works and you're kind of feeling comfortable, you've swapped some images out, and you feel like kind of taking it to the next level and maybe customizing things a little bit more, you can actually, I'll just show you here one that I did. So this was the template, and then just to kind of make it a bit customized, I added a few things to it. Sometimes it takes a little minute to load on the, so this is the image that I kind of just slightly adjusted. So you can go back here and you'll see this is what it looked like before. It says World Environment Day, and there's just the one image of the fern. And what I actually did was I added in some more flowers. I added in the lines around to create sort of like a box effect with a border. And then I just moved some things around, did a different font, and then added, you know, a little tagline. And this was something that didn't take me very long to do, since a lot of the work was already done for me in the template. It was just very easy to click. And I can just, you can see here, you can kind of drag the boxes to adjust everything. Very easy to click and change the font. What you can do as well is like you can drag and move these around. And so this is what I did. And I just kind of kept what they had. And to make it a bit easier, you can also select all of the parts here like that. And I'm going to actually just group them together. So now if I want to move this over here, everything goes and I don't have to move 3 different things, worry about if they're lined up properly. It's kind of all grouped together, makes it a little bit easier. And then I went and I found some flowers here. So I just, again, went into the elements, typed in what I'm looking for. And as you can see, you just kind of have to search a little bit for some images that don't have the $sign or the Pro sign. And these were the flowers that I used. I just put them in, dragged them, sort of turned them a little bit. And then I use that transparency feature that I like to do just to kind of blend them, make them a little bit more in the background. And I had added another text. So again, on the left-hand side, this is where everything will be for you to find. So you can, anything you upload, anything you're looking for to add in to your graphic design, whether it's a line or a shape, photos, videos, little stickers or GIFs, it's all found in the elements. And then of course, text is its own separate one. And so the difference, I guess, just between the 3 that they have there, the heading, subheading, and body text, basically just starts you off at a certain size. So if I were to add a heading, that's the size that it's gonna start me off at. And a subheading you'll see here, just a little bit different. I'm going to use just a little bit of body text, and then I'm just going to say, come out and join us for tea in the garden. And I'm gonna just change the font. I think I'll use the over the rainbow one again. And I'm just gonna drag this into place. So as you can see, once you get a little bit more comfortable, you can easily adjust the template that has been already made and just kind of adjust it to suit your style and your brand. Yeah, let's see, any questions so far just about kind of working with a template and adjusting them as you go? All good, okay. Does this seem like does this seem like a platform that you will use? I know some of you said that you have used it, but I think a lot of you also said, or didn't say whether you would use it. Do you think this looks like a platform you would use? Does it look a little bit intimidating?
Definitely something I'll use. So we can switch out the photos ourselves and then move things around. What if we had a template that was already there, like one that we created or had created by a designer? Can we upload that here and then switch out the photos?
So if it's already been created, it's a little bit more difficult because the file isn't adjustable. So if you had something created by a designer, maybe they used Adobe, for example. The only way you'd be able to adjust the photos and the font would be through an Adobe program. Unfortunately, Canva isn't quite, it's not made like that. It's mostly made for sort of in platform creation and not for importing something to adjust. However, it's not to say you couldn't make that template yourself off of what you have and then adjust it as you go, as you need. Just a little bit more work, of course. But yeah, you can import your image into here, but how much you could actually adjust would be pretty minimal. If anything.
Gotcha. Thank you for that. I just have a question. I had read, I did a comparison about the free versus the pro, and it said that they have available that magic, let me see, I'm trying to look for it. Magic Resize. Is that for something like this? Do you have experience with that?
So yes, so Magic Resize is something that you would only get through Pro, meaning that you can basically resize any image and you don't have to fiddle around with, like say for example here, let me see. If I were to take this and this is a post for Facebook, I can't just instantly resize it. I would have to copy all of these elements in here and then I would have to paste it into something else and then readjust every single text box, every little box, every photo, if that makes sense. Also, I believe, I think Jess and Jenny have the Pro, and I think you can you're saving the image as any size that you want, right? So if you need it for your website, sometimes you do all this work and you create an image and then you go and upload it onto your website and the file's not only too big, but the dimensions aren't right. So maybe you need a 1:2 size and you've made a 4:8 or something like that, and you can't quite resize it, or you're missing the elements or things like that. I think, Jess, do you use that feature?
I actually do. We do a post every Monday that I actually take the information from somewhere else and I make a Facebook post, and then I turn it around and I make it into a 8.5 by 11 poster that I actually post in our office. It's to do with a mental health image every week. And so I just click the button 8.5 by 11 and it takes everything and it's proportional. It moves it. I don't have to do anything but hit print.
Exactly. So
Yeah.
if you're someone who is going to be using this platform, and you want it to do multiple things for you, like you want to create a Facebook post and then also an Instagram post, and a poster, you know, definitely the pro version. I think we were just talking about this before. It's about $150 a year. And I think you can pay for it monthly. So definitely something to consider. I have had the pro version and I really liked it. Used it a lot. I just don't have it currently. But something even as simple as the content planner alone, if you're someone who's struggling to sort of like keep up with posting on social media, and you know, now you have this place to create this content, and why not just have it automatically post for you if that's something that you want to do. Does that, I hope that helps answer your question, but.
No, that's great. That's great. How about like resizing from Adobe? Like, is that like what it would resize, that magic resize would do as well?
No, unfortunately, it's only whatever you have in Canva. So it'll take whatever you have in Canva and resize it after. You can try, I don't think it works, but I mean, you could try uploading that image into Canva, saving it as a template, and then resizing it. But I think I have tried that and I don't think that it works because it can't access all of those elements. So it has no way to take everything and make it like this or to make it like this, right? So yeah, I know. And unfortunately, a lot of people, like especially in the design world, like web designers and stuff, everybody does use Adobe. And so for someone like us, we can't, you know, maybe that's a very expensive program. And so when you have a file that comes from Adobe, it's hard to kind of, you can't really work with it.
I see.
So that's the nice thing with Canva. I know even for myself, I have a lot of people who Canva allows you to have sort of a team feature. And so I have a few different teams where I can, you know, basically it sets up your own profile for your team with your Canva account. And then we can create in there for an event, or say if we're collaborating on something together. So that's really nice because then that person can have access to it and say, hey, this looks really great. I changed this, or I was working on my poster because you know, I do the social media and someone does the print stuff. And so then it's an easy way for us to work together and have all the elements in your brand kit and everything there and simple. So I do think the pro is worth it if you can afford the extra little bit a month. But if you're just looking to sort of create some content off the hop and get familiar with it, you definitely don't need the pro version at all to use this program.
Great, thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah, no problem. So another thing that's really cool with Canva, you can, here, let's just see. You can actually go in here and you can, if you don't have a business logo yet, and say you're looking for an inexpensive way to whip up a logo, maybe you don't need to use it in a ton of places. This is a good place for you to make a logo. It's relatively easy in the sense of, here, I just have to close the window, there we go. As long, I mean, I guess so for us here, like this one, I clicked this logo and say I'm going to change it into my brand logo. Maybe I mostly picked it because I like the font. Again, very easy to use to create a logo size. Maybe I don't want the circle. I'm going to delete the circle. I'm going to go over to elements here and I'm going to go for a black and whoops. And as you can see, there's lots of options, and maybe I'm just going to pick this one, and then I can kind of, you know, you know, kind of play around with it a little bit, and that could be my logo. So it's kind of nice to be able to do many things. You can also, I'm just going to scroll back up here. There is templates for everything. So even for, a second here, these all. For Instagram stories, if you're someone who's on Instagram and you want to make stories, there is, and Facebook stories, there is templates for that. If you need to do even a presentation, a PowerPoint, anything like that, it's all in here. If you're working on a brochure, it's all here for you to use, and you can save it and download it to your computer and then take it to your printer of choice, or if you need to, like I said, put on your website or social media. We were talking about the magic resize, and one way around that is if you're someone who needs to post something on you're creating the content to post on your Instagram and on your Facebook, you can always make it as an Instagram post, because the post is square, and on Facebook it's just a little bit bigger, but it doesn't, you don't need to have the certain size on Facebook like you do on Instagram. Instagram limits you to that square. And so usually my way around not having the pro feature is to just create an Instagram post, which is in, like I said, a square. And then I just save that and I post it to both platforms in the square version.
Can you upload a JPEG that is already created in that version?
So you mean just upload any file, like any photo that you have?
Yes.
Yeah, so sorry, and
Sorry.
no, I just want to make sure I was on the same page as you. So if you go into, I'll just go back so you can see here. So I'm just gonna click Instagram post. That's what I want to do, and I want to upload an image that is my own. Is that what you're talking about? I can just go into uploads on the left hand side, and then I can just kind of go look for an image that I want to use, and I can pop it into here, and then now I can just post it over.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Yeah.
And
no
there is a
problem.
couple other questions in the chat as well.
Sure, yeah, let's go through them.
If you, I'm just kind of starting at the bottom here. If you create a logo in Canva, can you access the logo in different formats? For instance, PDF, JPEG, PNG, which is, yes, you can, right? When you,
Yes.
Yeah, so here's the logo we just created. When I go to hit share up here in the top right corner, you can go to download, and here are all your options for the logo. The only thing to keep in mind when you are creating a logo in Canva, it's not the same, like it doesn't have the vector transparency. I think this could also be a pro feature, but I'm not sure. Yeah, I think it is, right?
I don't do,
I
I would
remember.
You know?
yeah.
I think it might be a pro feature, but so basically if I'm going to download this as a PNG, and I can just show you here, I'll download it. It's not going to have the, just pop this all down here. Where did it go? This is now the, sorry. It's time. Anyways, it doesn't save it as a transparent image. So as you can see, this is the logo, and you have the entire white background still.
I think your screen may have froze.
Oh,
It's done something wonky.
yeah, I think it's because I was not sharing. Okay, it's just because I'm only sharing my Canva screen. Can you see now? Yeah.
Correct.
So basically, when you save the image, it saves as the whole square that you're seeing right now. It's not a transparent image. If I were to go and put this on a poster that had a green background, you're going to see all of the white, if that makes sense.
Right. And is it only a feature with the Pro to be able to remove the background?
Yes.
So
Yeah.
another really great feature. I use that part
Another.
all the time.
Do you, like the transparency?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just
Or
when you
this,
click on it,
yeah.
it's like edit image, and then you can remove the background.
Yes. Yeah, so if that's a feature that you think that you would like, again, another great reason to go with Pro. But yeah, but Jenny, I don't know if you want to keep going through the questions.
I'm just kind of scrolling through.
Or I can look here too.
It does videos also. Haven't done one, but there are videos. The other way is, okay, that's resizing. Is it possible to add links to your articles in your blog or other posts, like a post on LinkedIn?
Let me see. Is it possible to add links to articles in your blog or other posts, like a post? So a link to the file made in Canva, is that what you're asking? Or are you asking about putting in a link in your Canva document and then sharing it?
Yes, the latter.
The latter.
Okay. So I believe, let's go back here to garden. I just wanted to check here because this also could be a Pro feature.
And I've created a lot of images and added links, but if I put those images on Facebook, the link does not work.
Right, and I think you have, it's because when you do add the link, I think you have to download it as a PDF. So let me just do a quick trial here. I'm just going to add in, let's just see here. Just gonna grab a link for us to use. Just to quickly test it out. So if I post this in here, I think there's a way up here in the top right corner, you can add the link in. So now you can see with the underline that it is hyperlinked. I'm going to download it, but I believe it's only if you download as a PDF. And then I'll just confirm here whether or not you can do it. Great, so my screen's just gonna pop away for a second here. So yeah, I can do it just only as a PDF. Oh. You know what, you might not actually be able to. Yeah, so I don't, I go back to Canva here.
Is the screen? Oh, there it goes. Okay.
Yeah, you said, have you tried it this way, Jess?
No,
With a PDF?
no, I haven't.
Okay.
I've had no luck with it actually grabbing a link in the images.
Yeah, so it might be a certain format that you have to save it in. Certain platforms might pick it up, others might not. But usually PDF does pick it up, so I'm surprised that it doesn't. But anyways, I guess that kind of answers your question. Not very helpful though. But.
That's okay, thank you.
Have you created videos on here, Josie?
So no, I haven't. basically, sometimes I guess what videos mean is, say, for Instagram, for example, it might be helpful because you can go in and you can add like a moving part over here.
Mhm.
So if you add in something like this bowl of salad, you'll see, I know. Oh, funny image. Okay, you'll see here on the right hand side, it says there's a little play button and it says 5.4 seconds. So that's basically showing you that it's a video. And so when you save it, again, you go to download and it'll automatically save it as a video. And so then if you post it to Instagram, it'll register on Instagram as a video instead of just a picture. And should be the same on Facebook too.
Mhm.
Yeah, I think there was some more. Are there other ways of resizing images? Is just looking here.
Mhm.
Oh, I see. Yeah, I think that's a pro feature where you can do the remove background. Yeah. Any other questions of anything that we've gone over? Anything that anybody wants me to touch on while we're kind of going through the motions of this program?
Somebody had just asked a question about layering. What are layers? I think you've covered that though by using a template and just having things. But maybe you could just show about, you know, if you can bring things forward or back.
Yeah, for sure. So let's go back into this, not this one here, this garden party one that I had created. Let's just get rid of this. So basically on here, there are a couple layers. You'll see here, the fern image itself is one layer, and then I have this, which is another. There's a button on the top right hand corner that says position. And if I were to delete this flower image, and I'll just go and add it in again, just so that we can see, you'll see that it's kind of on top of the fern and it's on top of some of the text, but not all of the text. Basically to adjust that, I'm just going to hit position and I'm just going to say, move it backwards until, whoops, until it gets far enough back that it's out of my way. And so now that's kind of what I've done. I'm just going to pop this back down to being a little bit more transparent. So now it's there, but it's further back. If I wanted to add in some text now, here we can just add in a heading. You'll see now it's on top of the flowers, and maybe I want this one to be behind those flowers. I just have to, I moved this, oops, sorry. I moved the add heading all the way to the back, and then I'm just going to position this one forward. And it's hard to see because it's transparent, but you'll see now that it's in front of that one. And so you kind of just have to play around with the positioning to get it to be in front or behind of whatever it is that you're wanting it to be in front or behind of. But it can all be done through that position button. Let's go over here for a second. Even so this square that I added in was something that I created, and you can see I'm moving it as one element. How I actually did it was I inserted a line and then I made a square, and then I tied all of those together so it moved as one part. I'll show you here. If I click it and go ungroup, you'll see now there's 8 different lines that I can select and move around. So it's nice if you've got something that you've created and you like the way that it's paired together. For join us for a garden party, I can select these two holding the shift button, I selected join us for a garden party, and I'm just gonna group it together. So now I don't have to worry about how it is lined up or put together, because it's not gonna separate unless I click ungroup. And then you'll see if I wanna go move garden party now, it moves around, and I don't want it to do that because I put it together like this for a reason. And so then yeah. So the best thing to do is to just kind of go in, pick a template and start making some minimal adjustments. And then as you keep using it and getting more comfortable with it, you can, you know, play around like I'm doing here today. Yeah, delete that. Any other questions?
Why do you sometimes they have these little templates in the back that have like the sky and grass and stuff, you know, the and then people will plug an image on top of those. In back and
Like in something like this one, or I'm not sure I quite understand.
edit it, and we're
Pardon?
if you're going into to edit something, let's say,
Okay. Let me,
so that we can see that sidebar.
okay, sure, let's do that. Oops, that's a paid version one. Let's just go back. Okay. So in the sidebar.
So if you go into elements and then, you know, sometimes you'll see shapes, but the background is like a stock background. Maybe it's,
Oh, I know what you're talking about. Yes. Okay. So say you're going to do,
maybe it's a frame.
yeah, it's a frame right up here. This is what you're talking about, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So this is just a good way. So say I'm just going to delete these lovely people out of here. Say I'm creating something for my own image. Maybe I'm waiting, say in my case, I often do event-based graphic design. And so maybe I'm waiting for a band to get back to me with an image that they want me to use, or maybe I'm doing up a post for a product and I'm just not quite finished it, or it's a baking item or something I haven't taken a nice photo of. What you can do is put in the placeholder here, and then when I'm ready, so now I've got my image all done here, I can go to uploads. I've already uploaded my folder or my photo, and I'm just going to go and I can just drag it straight from my uploads. You can see here as I go over top, it'll give me two options. It'll say, hey, do you want to put this as your background? No, I don't. I'm just going to keep dragging into this little placeholder. So that's something that's really commonly used in template creation, because it's just a placeholder and then you can put the image in there. And I think if I hit delete, it just deletes the image. So your placeholder will stay there unless you delete the whole placeholder.
So then if I wanted to create this as a template so that I didn't have to redo this, what would be your suggestion? Just to duplicate it, or can you save it as a template?
Yeah, so very good question. So what you can do is once you've got your template created, I'm just gonna, oops, here. You can resave the name. So I'm gonna just call it, it's World Environmental Day, whatever. And I'm just gonna go -template. That's how I do it. It makes it easy. Some people like to do it like this at the beginning, where they say template. So now I'm just gonna, this is saved. Everything in Canva, that's a really nice feature about Canva. It saves as you go. So I move this, that's saved. I don't have to worry if my computer crashes, it's saved. That's a really nice feature over some other programs that you would have to pay for, where you always have to constantly be saving it unless you want to lose your work. So now I've created this, it's my template. I'm gonna go back to my home here. I'm gonna go to my projects and I'm just gonna close these out so it'll show up on my thing here. Sometimes it just takes a couple of minutes.
It's
Like, it's
It
really
does.
taking its time. So here you can see in my recent designs, it says template minimal world. That's the one we've just done. I can hit these three little dots, like once you kind of mouse over the image, I can hit these three dots, hit make a copy, and then it's done. And so then say this is going to be for, I'm just using, I'm picking on Jess today, but it's Jess's band. So now I can go and I can insert the information for Jess's band event, and then it's saved and it's as its own. And then next time when Jenny gets her band together, I can go and I can just click this and copy it again, the same as I did for Jess's band. Is that going to make sense?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Let me see here. I'm just trying to think. So we did talk about the folders as well. So if you're someone who maybe runs multiple businesses or you want to keep things a little bit more organized, you can hit the three dots on the side, hit move to folder, and then you can pick one of your projects. Also an easy way to download your image. So say you've left the program and you come back later and you want to download it, you can just, instead of opening the image up, you can just hit download, select from here. Yeah, that's kind of the overview of Canva. There's lots that you can do, especially if you take it to the next level and get the pro version, but for the most part you can start off and do well with the free version. Yeah.
No, I think that's very good. Are there
Is
any
it-
other questions?
I like it too that you can actually start with a blank screen. If you don't want a template at all and you want to be as creative as you can also go Facebook post and it'll just give you that white page and then you can start building whatever you want into it as well.
Yeah, and we can just you can still see the Canva screen, right?
Yep.
So yeah, if you want to and you're not finding a template that you like or you're feeling really creative, you can just click on Instagram post. The square pops up for me. I'm going to use maybe an image here, my cake image. I'm going to pop this in. I'm going to make it a little bit transparent again. And then maybe I'm just going to go in here and I'm going to look through. They have font combinations already set up on the left-hand side, as you can see. So if I just keep scrolling down, maybe there's something that will catch my eye. Maybe it's this one here. I'm going to click it. I kind of liked it maybe in the white. And I'm just going to, as you see, like as I dragged it over, those pink lines came up, and that's just showing me that this is centered on my page. And yeah, so I can go in here and I can change everything. And there you go. Like maybe that's all you wanted. Maybe you just wanted something simple. That took us a minute to create, just using what Canva already had provided, other than our image. And so That's something I use, these font combinations a lot. Sometimes I just want the line circle that they have. And this is one of those things that we talked about before about the grouping the items together. So I can just click ungroup in the top right-hand corner and you'll see everything ungroups. I'm just gonna delete the text and then using my shift button, just so that these don't get all of alignment, I'm just gonna select them and group them back together. And then I'm gonna insert pizza party. This is totally not the right vibe I'm sending out right now. I've got a cake having a pizza party. But anyways, it's very user-friendly. And like I said, I use these elements a lot. They're there for a reason. They've got nice, you know, fonts that they've paired together, and it's very appealing to the eye. So yeah.
Does
That's
anyone, that was awesome. Does anyone have any questions? From my experience, you've got to get in and play, but it is very easy and it is very user friendly.
It is. It's intimidating if you, especially if you're comparing it to a lot of other programs. It's graphic design. There's so many components to it, and Canva really just like takes it down and makes it easy for anybody to just jump in and say, "Hey, I'm going to create an image," and yeah. Well. There are a lot of free images. Yes, and those are some good sites to write down there. Catherine has wrote on the right-hand side. Those are places where you can get free stock images as well. David, what can I bring to your garden party?
Well, Josie, that was so good. I really appreciate you being able to be here today.
Yeah, thanks so much for having me. And it's great to get to go through Canva. And I hope you guys are all gonna dive in after this, and I'm gonna look you guys up on Facebook and see if you're using it.
Awesome. I just want to thank everybody for joining today. We did record the session. It will be and we put them on our IBDS YouTube channel, which is on our Facebook page, that if you want to go back and rewatch it, or if you want to watch one of the other sessions that Josie's done for us, they're all on there. You're welcome to watch them because there's lots of some really good hints and tips for using the different social medias as well. So, and we're back in 2 weeks, and I don't remember what the next one is.
Oh gosh. Jenny.
Sorry. I usually have them on the top of my head and I don't today.
Oh gosh. It has to do with branding and it being absolutely critical. Yes, why consistency in branding is absolutely critical. And that one is with Sabrina Tabler.
So thanks everybody for joining. There will be a survey coming out to, give your feedback on the session. We love that because it helps us build our next ones. So feel free, Jessica will be emailing those out to everybody. So have a wonderful day and we hope to see you at our next one.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. This was very helpful.
Oh, good. I'm glad that you enjoyed it, Susan.
Thank you.